Special thank you to my YouTube members and patrons for supporting the channel and supporting my content. How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to another subreddit video. Today we are going to be once again returning to r/entitled parents, the place full of stories about parents who are just a bit entitled, just a little bit entitled, you know? I don't have anything else to add, so let's just get straight into the subreddit, shall we? My in-laws are suing me for part of ownership in my company. This is just happening. It started today. I was served with papers. My husband and I, both male, had issues with them a while back that resulted in us going no contact. I have had my restaurant since I was in my 20s, long before my husband was ever in my life. My in-laws felt that after we got married, it became a family business and they were entitled to ownership. My husband and I have a prenup and a postnup that states my husband and his family have no stake in the business and I am the sole owner, and they know this and have known this. This issue caused us to go no contact with his family because of their entitled greed. My husband is beyond pissed and my lawyer is assuring me that they will lose. For some reason, I'm laughing about it. Just one more headache I don't need. I really don't know what they think they're gonna gain, or like even their lawyer should have been like, yeah, you've got no chance of winning this. Like, there's been a prenup and a postnup stating that there's no ownership in that family. Not even their husband, right? Not even their husband has stakes in this restaurant. It's just them. So I don't know what they could possibly think to gain. There is no legal way around this. And even if their husband did have stakes in it, even if when getting married their husband did get partial ownership of the restaurant, the family still wouldn't. It would be the husband. The family would have nothing. I don't understand what they think they're gonna get. I was reading the comments on this one and someone said that they should actually do a countersuit to pay for lawyer costs and all of that stuff, and they said that their husband has actually encouraged them to seek out a countersuit against his family. So I think it's gonna work out for them, but like, I just don't understand what the family thought they were gonna gain from this other than losing money on lawyers and any lawyers they're paying for that are encouraging this. I hope they lose money on it. I really do. My cousin's wife tried to put their young son on a plane with me. Oh boy, here we go. I've lurked on this subreddit for years, but stopped due to the pandemic for mental health reasons. But I wanted to tell this story for a while now. Let's start from the beginning. It was my very first semester as a college freshman. I officially moved into my college dorm to start this new chapter of my life. I'm an international student, so it was a tough experience once reality settled. Thankfully, I had my cousin, whom I haven't seen in years, and his wife, who lived in Dallas, helped me with getting a US number, bedding, and school supplies. Fast forward to Thanksgiving break. I accepted my cousin's offer to go to Dallas for the break, since it was better than staying in the dorms. I met his two kids, a son and a daughter. We catch up with each other, seeing how our lives went up to this point. The break ended and went back to college to study for the finals. Then it happened. My cousin's wife asked for a favor via text. The favor? Take their 8-year-old son home back to the Caribbean with me because his godmother wanted to see him. I told her that wasn't able to do that because I didn't know when my exams were finished. I actually did know when, I just told her that so she would leave me alone or do something herself. I already made up my mind with my mom's support that wasn't doing that. Fast forward weeks later. I was chilling in the airport, minding my own business, when my good cousin called me. He asked if I was doing something for his wife. I told no and explained myself. He thanked me and I thought that was the end of it. But no. I saw her with her son holding a suitcase and a carry-on when I was walking to my gate. My cousin was nowhere to be seen. I asked her what she was doing. She gave some sob story of how his godmother wanted to see him and told him that he'll be good as he was hugging my leg. I was shocked. I felt my heart race. The groups were being called and I had to make a decision. Note, I just turned 18 at the time. I barely knew this child. I like to have everything in order and pre-planned to avoid confusion, and this would complicate everything. Furthermore, immigration would be on my case. Finally, I don't know how his godmother is or how she looks. I told her no, stating that if she wanted to do this, they could have planned a family trip together and not dump their kid on me. She said that she already bought the ticket and I might as well take him. I told her no again and went on my flight. My family was proud of me for standing my ground, as they didn't like her either. Turned out that sometime after or during the pandemic, my cousin and his wife got divorced. Understandable. His now ex-wife went behind his back to try and get his son on an international flight when they could have planned a family trip together. Thanks for reading. Wow. I mean, yeah, that's a a lot of entitlement right there, but also extremely irresponsible. Not only trying to lump your child, the life of an 8-year-old, on someone that you don't know that well, not only that, but trying to do it against that person's wishes last minute in surprise after they've told you they're not going to do it. How incredibly irresponsible and dangerous is that? That's insane. That's not just entitled, that's insane. You made the right decision, both in a responsible way and on a standing your ground way, because you stood your ground when you said no. But also, as an 18-year-old, looking after an 8-year-old who you barely know and taking them to someone you've never met is extremely irresponsible, and the mother should have known that, and that is ridiculous. It is the mother's responsibility to take her son somewhere, not a distant relative. Wild. Entitled mother is angry I reported her husband for breaking the protective order. My stepdad molested me from ages 13 to 15, and he sexually assaulted me. He was emotionally and physically abusive. He was also mentally abusive. He convinced my mother to think bad things about me and treat me like shit. He would purposefully do things to make me angry and react so that he could get me in trouble. My mother called the police because I refused to apologize to him for an argument he had started. He and my mother would always exclude me from trips and family outings. They'd use my disability checks they got me on themselves and my sister. I had raggedy shoes that were falling apart. I was in high school and only had clothes from middle school that were too tight. My sister got any new clothes, food, toys, and shoes she wanted. She got professional haircuts and dye jobs, while I was stuck with at-home haircuts and dye jobs. If my sister wanted anything I had, she got it. My stepdad would convince my mother to cancel any plans she had with me to go with him. He would make fun of me for being autistic and bipolar, so would my mother. Just giving you some idea of what my family was like. But anyways, a few months ago, I got a protective order against my stepdad for harassment. He'd stalked me at my jobs, etc. He would harass me online. He had broken it before and he's broken it again. He made a new Facebook page and threatened me on Messenger. He said if I keep telling people that he molested me that I would be sorry. Well, I reported that to the police station and magistrate. The police picked him up last night due to his threats and him violating the protective order. Keep in mind, I haven't spoke to my mother in 5 weeks due to the last exchange we had. She called my number from an unknown number. She was going off on me for reporting him for violating the order. She told me I was selfish for ruining her happiness. Like, what the actual fuck? Yeah, you did the right thing. Once again, your mother is just as abusive as him. Like, regardless of whether she has physically done anything to you or not, and by the sounds of it, she's done plenty emotionally, but she is enabling and supporting it. Therefore, she is just as guilty. You did the right thing. You have a legal protective order, and he is violating that. He is committing crimes. He's threatening you for telling people about other crimes he's committed against you. He's an all-round, just criminal, despicable person, and he's violating court orders and mandates. You are well in your right to report him for that, and you have definitely done the right thing in doing so. He would not stop if you didn't do that. Your mother's happiness does not matter in this scenario. If her happiness is coming from a criminal committing crimes to harass you, then fuck her happiness. Seriously, what the fuck? How selfish is it of her to be like, you're ruining my happiness by reporting my husband's crimes? Pathetic. It's actually pathetic. And the final post I've got for you today. My mum tells me I'm supposed to deal with abuse because she's the parent. Recently, my mum, 36, and I, 18, got into a huge argument about me wanting to move out, which led to my mum physically harming me. I'm not talking about a slap on the wrist or her threatening me with a spoon. The fight resulted in me having a black eye, 2 cracked ribs, and bruised ankles. I then contacted authorities, but I don't want to press charges. She takes care of my brother, but I am also afraid of the abuse trickling down to him once I leave. She's been abusive my whole life. My mother is Asian and believes that everything she does is right, and she can never be wrong. I tried telling my grandmother about the incident, and she told me it would have never happened if I didn't stick up for myself. My dad then told me I just have to sit there and let her do whatever she wants because she's the parent and I'm the child. I then explained to her that when I move, I won't be contacting her and I'll live my own life. That made her very upset, and I've yet to answer any of her calls. Good. If that upsets her, good. She's abusive. You don't want her to be in your life? Don't have her in your life. That's not her right. That's not her choice. If she's abusing you, she has relinquished any right to your life that she has. Plain and simple. There is nothing more to it than that. All of the people in these scenarios, obviously not the parents, but the people that are making the posts, have all done the right things in all of these posts. I want to make that very clear. The parents in these have undoubtedly been wrong in every single example of this. Physical abuse. Physical abuse is what we've seen, especially in this last post and the post before. And then suddenly like, oh, I'm the victim because I'm the parent. You made me physically abuse you, but I'm right because I'm the parent. No. If you can't parent without abuse, then you shouldn't be a parent. Plain and simple. If you can't talk to your child without resorting to violence, you should not be a parent. If you can't sit a child down and talk to them, or an adult, because this is an 18-year-old in this last post, they're an adult. If you cannot talk to an adult without resorting to violence, you should not be a parent, and you should not be surprised when that person no longer wants to spend time with you or have contact with you. That should never be a surprise to an abusive parent. And that's where I'm going to end the video, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed. If you would like to support me in making more content like this, then I have a Patreon in the description down below, or equally you can click on that join button on the channel to support me. It helps a lot more than you might realize, but by no means should you feel like you have to. I'm going to keep making content regardless. Special thank you to all of the YouTube members and patrons that do support my channel. All of you are incredible, wonderful, amazing people, and you have no idea how much it helps. Koshek may have to go to the vet because she shed recently and there's a bit of shed stuck on her toe and it's causing her toe to swell up. We're currently giving her warm baths to soften it, and we've ordered some glycerin to try and help to remove it, but we may have to take her to the vet, and exotic vets are expensive, so any support genuinely helps because basically all of that money is going to go on supporting Koshek. So thank you so much to everybody that supports. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Peace out.